Tyrone Ratcliffe here. Today I want to talk about my blog at tyroneratcliffe.com. So this blog is for anybody that wants to learn how to build things, that wants to learn how to code the right way. Now, my expertise is in React and JavaScript, and I know I've learned Python and Java, C++, and C. I've learned those languages, but I'm really proficient in JavaScript and React. So a lot of my tutorials are going to be about JavaScript and React. But this blog is for anybody that wants to learn how to build things, because at the end of the day, it's all about building stuff. Yes, grind out leak code. You got to understand systems design. But at the end of the day, it's about building stuff. What if you're in an interview and someone asks you, can you, build me a commenting system in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS? Could you do that? They could ask you that question. It might not be a leak code question. It might not be a systems design question. It might be, can you build me a ticketing system? Would you know how to do that? What if someone asked you, okay, build me an application like Instagram or Facebook? How would you start? Okay, so say for example, I want to build a social media site like Facebook. Well, now what do you do? Well, you have user authentication. You got to have a database to store all that data because you have all these different user accounts. So you understand you have to know how to that feed. How do you build that? How would you build the feed? You have the actual feed. You got to the like button would be pretty easy to code. Coding like button would be an issue, but so there's all these things you got to think about. You got to think about, okay, what if that application scales? Do you know how to deal with that? So now we're getting into systems design. Do you understand vertical scaling, horizontal scaling, sharding, CDNs? There's all sorts of stuff you got to learn. So the thing is, at the end of the day, it's all about building stuff. Yes, go through the tutorials. Yes, you got to get down the basics. You got to get down the fundamentals, but you got to know how to build stuff at the end of the day, and you got to know how to solve problems. So check out the blog, tyroneratcliffe.com. Tons of tutorials, mostly about React and JavaScript, some Python, some AI stuff as well. And I also have some services, some web design services. If you need a website, if you need a WordPress blog, whatever it is you need, I have a service for you. I have some gigs on Fiverr. I have my own services as well that are off of Fiverr. But at the end of the day, like I was saying, you got to know how to build stuff, because you might get one of these questions in the interview. And what are you going to do? You gotta just know what you're doing. You gotta know how to build stuff. That's how I look at it. And a lot of the tutorials on my blog are about just building things. I have basic tutorials that go through the fundamentals, but I like building stuff. That's what's fun. That's what it's all about at the end of the day, is building applications that are useful, that help people, that solve problems. People say, well, to do apps, everybody has a to do app on their GitHub, but can you build a to do app? If you're in a React interview and they ask you, build me a simple to do app, can you do that? You should be able to do that at the end of the day. Or what if it's maybe something a little more complicated, that a game of tic-tac-toe in JavaScript, HTML, and CSS? Could you do that? And that's a great application to build. If you can build a tic-tac-toe, a game of tic-tac-toe, and people think it's easy. Yeah, it's just a simple game of tic-tac-toe. Yeah, tic-tac-toe, the game is easy to play. It's not chess. It's a little easier to play than chess, but can you code that in HTML, JavaScript, and CSS? That's a great project to start. Yeah, the to-do app's a little simpler. Tic-tac-toe, a little more complicated. There's a little more that goes into it, more logic involved. But at the end of the day, just build stuff. Get down to fundamentals, and then just start building things, whether it's a to-do app, a game of tic-tac-toe, it's a ticketing system, or a social media site, or a CMS. Once again, a CMS now would be kind of tough. But yeah, at the end of the day, you gotta keep learning. You gotta keep growing. Grind out the leak code, definitely grind out leak code. Systems design, obviously, but get out there and start building things. get that GitHub going. It's that's what's fun. Building things is what's fun at the end of the day, and that's just the reality of it. And yeah, so check out the blog when you have time. Tons of tutorials, over 100 tutorials, really about JavaScript and React, but there's some Python stuff on there as well. But if you learn from me, read some of the articles on my blog, maybe leave some comments, that would be cool. You're going to learn how to code the right way. You got to learn, because I see some of these people and you're just like, I see some of these guys on LinkedIn and I'm looking at, this is stuff that you're writing, this code. I can't, no one knows what this, no one understands your code, your spaghetti code. The only thing you might understand it. And now you're probably confused looking at some of your code. But yeah, at the end of the day, build stuff, have fun. If you're not having fun, I wouldn't even be a software engineer. Just go and do something else, be a teacher, whatever. I don't know. Have fun, build stuff, keep learning. Well, it's that simple. Have fun, build stuff, keep learning, keep grinding. This is Tom Ratcliffe. I'll talk to you later.